If you're over 60, that first glass of water you drink in the morning might not be the healthy habit you think it is. In fact, it could be quietly working against you. As a wellness coach who's worked with hundreds of seniors, I've seen how one daily habit can silently cause discomfort, fatigue, or even bigger health concerns. Most seniors don't realize they're making these mistakes because it's not about junk food or skipping exercise. It's about something as simple as how you drink your water. I'm begging you to pay attention to these 5 habits that could be hurting you. They're all fixable, and I'm going to walk you through them step by step. Watch till the end, because habit number 1 is the most danger-rousing. It's something almost every senior does without thinking. Let's start with a quick story. Meet Walter, a retired math teacher from Ohio. Every morning, he'd wake up, grab a tall glass of ice-cold water from his fridge, and chug it down, thinking he was jump-starting his day. But instead, he felt bloated, dizzy, and sometimes even a little queasy. Walter didn't know he was making a big mistake that's so easy to fix but could make a world of difference for how you feel each morning. Curious what he was doing wrong? Let's dive into the countdown, starting with habit number 5. Habit number 5. Drinking ice-cold water on an empty stomach. You might think, it's just water. How can it hurt? But here's the thing. When you're over 60, your body is a little more sensitive in the morning. Your digestion is slower. Your blood vessels are less flexible, and your organs are waking up gently. Pouring ice-cold water into your system is like shocking your stomach with a cold shower. It can tighten your stomach muscles, narrow your blood vessels, and even make your heart work harder than it needs to. For some seniors, this leads to bloating, chills, or even mild cramps. I've seen it happen with folks like Eleanor, a lovely 72-year-old who used to start her day with a chilled bottle of water. She'd feel sluggish and uncomfortable for hours, not realizing her morning water was the culprit. Here's what happens inside your body. Cold water can slow down digestion because your stomach has to work overtime to warm it up. This extra effort can strain your system, especially if you're already dealing with slower metabolism or sensitive digestion. Over time, this habit might even contribute to feeling tired or foggy in the morning. And for some, like Eleanor, it can make blood pressure spike temporarily, which isn't great for your heart. The risks? Discomfort, low energy, and even a small increase in strain on your cardiovascular system. So, what's the fix? Switch to lukewarm or room temperature water. It's gentler on your stomach and helps your body ease into the day. Eleanor started keeping a glass pitcher of water on her counter overnight, no fridge needed. Within a week, she noticed her morning bloating was gone, and she felt lighter and more energized. It's such a simple change, but it can transform how you start your day. Have you been drinking cold water first thing in the morning? Drop a quick yes or no in the comments, I'd love to know. Now, that one might surprise you, but the next habit is even sneakier. Let's move to habit number 4. Drinking water too fast or in big gulps. I get it, mornings are busy, and you want to get that hydration in quickly. Maybe you're like Walter, who downed a full glass in one go, thinking faster is better. But here's the problem. Chugging water overwhelms your kidneys and can lead to bloating, dizziness, or even a sudden drop in blood pressure. For seniors, whose kidneys work a bit slower, rapid drinking can be like flooding a system that's not ready for it. Walter used to feel lightheaded after his morning water, and he thought it was just getting older. But when he came to me, we figured out it was how fast he was drinking. Here's what's happening in your body. When you gulp water, it hits your stomach all at once, stretching it and putting pressure on your digestive system. This can cause air to get trapped, leading to that uncomfortable bloated feeling. For some, it can even mess with your blood pressure, making you feel woozy or unsteady. Over time, this habit might stress your kidneys, which are already working hard to keep you balanced. The risks here include dizziness, bloating, and even a higher chance of feeling fatigued throughout the day. The fix is simple but game-changing. Sip your water slowly over 15 to 20 minutes. Think of it like savoring a warm cup of tea. Walter started keeping a small glass by his side while reading the morning paper, taking small sips instead of chugging. Within days, his dizziness vanished, and he felt steadier on his feet. It's about treating hydration like a gentle routine, not a race. Try this tomorrow morning and see how it feels. What's your morning routine like, Teo? You sip or chug? Let me know in the comments, and maybe share your city. Too, it's fun to see where everyone's watching from. Before we move on, I want to say something important. Your body has been working hard for you for decades, and small changes like these can make a huge difference in how you feel. We've covered two big mistakes, drinking ice-cold water and chugging too fast, but the next three habits are even more common, and they might be hiding in your kitchen right now. Don't go anywhere, because in part 2, we'll talk about a mistake that could be leaching chemicals into your water and how to fix it fast. Which of these habits have you made? Comment water below if you've learned something new, and share this with a loved one over 60 who drinks water every morning. Stick with me, we're just getting started. Now, let's keep the countdown going with habits number 3 and 2. These are sneaky ones that might be part of your routine without you even realizing the harm. Stick with me, because the next habit is something I see in almost every senior's kitchen, and it's a little scary. Ready? Let's dive in. Habit number 3. Drinking from plastic bottles left out overnight. You might think, it's just a water bottle, what's the big deal? But as a wellness coach, I've seen how this habit can quietly cause problems. Plastic bottles, especially the cheap ones, can leach chemicals like BPA into your water when they sit for hours, especially in warm rooms. These chemicals can mess with your hormones, leaving you feeling tired, moody, or even foggy. I had a client, Stanley, a 68-year-old retired mechanic who kept a plastic bottle by his bedside for convenience. Every morning, he'd drink from it, not knowing it was affecting his energy. He'd complain about headaches and feeling sluggish, and we traced it back to that bottle. Here's what happens inside. When water sits in plastic for hours, especially if it's warm or exposed to sunlight, chemicals from the plastic can seep into the water. These can disrupt your endocrine system, which controls everything from your mood to your energy levels. For seniors, this is a bigger deal because your body is less efficient at detoxing these chemicals. Over time, this habit might raise your risk of fatigue, brain fog, or even more serious issues like hormonal imbalances. Stanley was shocked when he learned this. He thought he was doing the right thing by staying hydrated. So, what's the fix? Switch to a glass or stainless steel container and refill it with fresh water each morning. It's a small change that makes a big difference. Stanley started using a glass pitcher, and within a couple of weeks, he noticed his headaches were less frequent and his morning energy was back. It's like giving your body a clean slate to start the day. Have you been using plastic bottles for your morning water? Drop a quick yes or no in the comments, I'd love to hear. And if this tip is hitting home, hit that like button to help more seniors find this video. That one catches a lot of people off guard, but the next habit is even more common and it's something you might be doing if you take meds in the morning. Let's talk about habit number 2, drinking too much water right after taking medication on a very empty or very full stomach. You might think, I'm just washing down my pills, what could go wrong? But I've seen this cause nausea, poor absorption of meds, or even stomach upset. Take Margaret, a 70-year-old grandmother who takes blood pressure meds every morning. She used to gulp down a full glass of water right after her pills on an empty stomach, and she'd feel queasy for hours. She thought it was the medication, but it was actually how she was taking it. Here's what's going on. When you drink a lot of water on an empty stomach right after taking a pill, it can dilute your stomach acid, which messes with how your body absorbs the medication. Some pills need a little food to work properly, while others need an empty stomach, but too much water either way can throw things off. For example, flooding your stomach can make you feel nauseous, or even cause the medication to pass through too quickly, reducing its effectiveness. On the flip side, if your stomach is too full, the water can slow down digestion, making the medication sit there longer than it should. This raises your risk of nausea, stomach cramps, or even inconsistent results from your meds. The fix? Adjust the timing and amount of water. If you take meds on an empty stomach, use just enough water to swallow the pill, about a quarter of a glass, and wait 15 to 30 minutes before drinking more or eating breakfast. If your meds need food, have a small snack first, then sip water slowly. Margaret started sipping just enough to get her pills down, then waiting before her coffee and toast. Her nausea disappeared, and she felt steadier all morning. It's such a simple tweak, but it can make your mornings so much smoother. We're getting closer to the number 1 mistake, and trust me, it's a big one. It's something most seniors do without realizing it's quietly hurting them. Which of these habits surprised you the most? Comment water below if you're learning something new, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. We're at the final part, and this is the big one, the number 1 mistake seniors make with their morning water. It's something most of you don't even realize you're doing, yet it could be quietly draining your energy. It's fixable, and I'll show you how. Let's dive into habit number 1 and wrap up with a plan to start your days feeling stronger and more vibrant. Habit number 1, skipping breakfast and only drinking water. You might think, I'm not hungry in the morning, so water's enough to get me going. But as a wellness coach who's worked with countless seniors, I've seen how this habit can quietly drain your energy and focus. Your body, especially after 60, needs more than just water to kickstart the day. I had a client, Clara, a 71-year-old retired librarian, who prided herself on her morning routine of just water no food, thinking it was keeping her light and healthy. But she kept feeling tired, irritable, and foggy by mid-morning. She didn't realize her body was running on empty because she was skipping breakfast. Here's what's happening inside. When you wake up, your body's been fasting all night, and your blood sugar is naturally low. Drinking water alone doesn't give your body the fuel it needs to stabilize blood sugar or power your brain and muscles. For seniors, this can hit harder because your metabolism and blood sugar regulation aren't as robust as they used to be. Skipping breakfast can lead to low blood sugar, which causes fatigue, mood swings, and trouble focusing. Over time, this habit might increase your risk of dizziness, weaker immunity, or even long-term issues like muscle loss or unstable blood sugar levels. Clara was shocked when we connected her morning grumpiness and brain fog to skipping that first meal. So, what's the fix? Pair your morning water with a small, balanced breakfast. It doesn't have to be a big meal, just something simple like a slice of whole grain toast with avocado, a small bowl of oatmeal, or a piece of fruit with a handful of nuts. This gives your body the nutrients it needs to stabilize blood sugar and keep you sharp. Clara started having a small yogurt with berries alongside her water, and within a week, she felt more energized, less moody, and could focus on her crossword puzzles again. It's a small step that makes a huge difference. Do you ever skip breakfast and just drink water? Drop a yes or no in the comments, I'd love to know. And if this resonates, tag a friend over 60 who might need this tip. Before we close, let's talk about why this matters so deeply. Your body, your heart, your mind, your energy has been there for you through decades of life's ups and downs. Now, it's your turn to give it a little love. You don't have to be perfect or change everything at once. Just pick one small thing from this series to try this week, maybe sipping room temperature water, using a glass container, or adding a small breakfast to your routine. These tiny changes are like a gentle hug for your body, helping you feel stronger and more alive each morning. Let me know in the comments. Which habit are you going to change first? Maybe it's adding a little breakfast or checking your tap water. I'd love to hear your story. It inspires others too. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more practical tips tailored for seniors. You've got this. You're not alone, and you are so worth the effort. Here's to living stronger, longer, and better. I'll see you in the next video.